Hey y'all, so I wanted to jump on really quickly. Um, just something that my husband and I have been talking about today, and then the kids and I were talking about this. Um, I did launch a blog post today, and I titled this "I Want You to Fail." I titled it that for a reason. So, one of the things that we have been talking about is how often I will reevaluate where I am in life and switch things up. Um, I have not always been that way. I, at one point, was very cautious. I was raised to be very strategic, very just super on point with everything that I was doing in my life. And when I gave birth to Marshall, it wasn't really welcomed. It was not a joyous occasion. It wasn't something that I could look back on and go, man, people were really excited about this. Those same people who, told me my life was over, I was doomed, things of the sort, are now those people trying to re enter our lives as things are taking off with my son's career. I made a decision when I gave birth to Cherry that she needed a role model that she could look up to. She needed someone who did not listen to what other people said, and she could have the superwoman mentality that I thought she needed. In the midst of that, that comes with failure, y'all. So here's kind of my background, so you can understand where I'm coming from with this one. Also, if you are on here watching, I can't see it. I put a new app on my phone, and so all I can see is me. I can't see any comments or anything like that. So if you're talking to me, hey. But anyway, so here's my background. I gave birth to Sherry when I was 25. I made a decision that I wanted to be an event planner, and that was the first time I entered entrepreneurship. And so I started custom event planning. Then my mother told me that she wanted me to get a college degree. So I got a degree in organizational development. At the time, Kennesaw State was the only school that had it. So my class was the first class to graduate with it. So for about a year, it was a handful of us who had this particular degree. So I went on to get a master's degree in training and development. I continued working retail. I worked retail management for 14 years. I thought that's where my life was going to kind of end up. That's what I would do, but on a corporate level. And then, you know how you have those moments in life where you're like, nah, this isn't it. I had one of those moments. And so while it was the best job I ever had, it was also the worst job I ever had. But it taught me so much. And that was the first time I can truly say I failed forward. Once I left Victoria's Secret, that is when I went and worked at like a daycare for a couple of months just to kind of pay some bills. And then my assignment at that time was given. And so that is when Adonai was created. So Adonai was birthed. It wasn't called Adonai at the time. It was called Custom Event Suites. Remember, event planning? Moved that into actually doing cakes. One of my BFFs, Caroline, paid for my very first class, my Wilton cake decorating class. The rest was history. I went to culinary school, graduated top of my class, didn't even go to graduation because I had so many orders that day. And so for the last 5 years, it's been an amazing ride. And now I'm at a point where physically I can no longer do that. Not on the level that I've been doing it. I still have clients. I still take orders. We're not fully shut down, but I'm also not, out there trying to gather a whole lot of clients. So here's where the failing forward part comes. I don't consider my 5-year run with Adonai a failure. I do consider wasting time a failure, though, because it took me a minute to finally be okay with people in my life not accepting what I'm doing. It took me way too long to be okay with running my own business, taking care of my family, homeschooling my children, and honestly not caring what anyone had to say about it. So for me, it wasn't about being an entrepreneur and being a mom and working from home and homeschooling the kids. No failure in that. I was all good. The failure was not in believing in myself. And so as we sit here and I am working on the next phase of my life, I have 4 classes left until I finish this degree in adult learning and education, which is where the Visionary Catalyst has come from. This is specialized training in helping people find their path in life, helping other adults to learn how to learn in different ways. I'm gonna have a degree in it come June. Well, the blog post I just did was fail often, fail fast, fail forward. Some of y'all have seen the video at Will Smith. I have not seen the whole thing, and I think he words it a little bit differently, but just to kind of give you the nutshell, you can go up on the visionarycatalyst.com and check out that blog post. But here's what I want to charge you with. I want you to fail. I don't want you to be homeless. I don't want you to be living on the streets and be broken in it. That's not what I want you to do. If you take the moment, the opportunity that sits before you to do your own thing, you may or you may not fail. But if you don't ever take that first step, you don't give yourself the opportunity to fail, nor do you give yourself the opportunity to succeed. So failing often simply means take chances, take risk. It's okay. Fail fast. Listen, depression is real. There is nothing worse than not succeeding and failing at something, and then you sit with it. You can't sit there with that. You got to shake it off and let it go. You need to, my thing, have a buddy that's going with you. Because if you fall, your friend is going to pick you up. I can call on people right now. If I felt like I was failing at something, if I called them and told them, they're going to pull me right up out of it. You need to take a buddy with you on this journey. Somebody you can trust and somebody that's going to pull you up out of it. And then for the last part of it, fail forward. Every single thing that happens in your life, it absolutely happens for a reason. It may not even happen because you needed it to happen. Me being a pastry chef, I promise you, wasn't for me. It was for all these other cake artists who are now asking me, how did you do this? How did you step out on faith and start this business? How did you just throw caution to the wind and decide this is what you were going to do? That entire 5-year experience, it wasn't for me. It was for them, because now I can tell you how to do it. And I can tell you how to do it better. So this is my charge for you today. Yes, it's Friday night, and yes, I am serious. I want you to fail. I want you to take the fear out of failure. I want you to be okay with taking that next step and just going, you know what? I'm going to try it. Because if I don't, I'll never know if I succeed. So please remember that failure is not always negative. When I worked retail, we used to tell our employees on Friday nights, go for no. I want you to ask every single customer that comes in this store if they want 2 bags of popcorn, if they want 2 drinks and a candy. It was a $5 bundle. You better ask every single customer in this store. The reason for that is we would celebrate every time somebody said no, because that means they tried, and it means they did not give up. So instead of going for yes, I made them go for no. Because guess what? 85 to 90% of the time, they said yes. You're not going to know until you try. And you're not going to know until you start. See more from the Visionary Catalyst at thevisionarycatalyst.com.